Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Cole. Welcome back to MotoGP 17 and the manager quiz. We're headed to Germany. As here we are, round the Saxon Ring. Very unusual circuit. Short circuit, just 2.3 miles. Short lap. It's a long race that wise, therefore. Long race for the tyres, and especially in this first sector. This is very tight, twisty, got to get into a flow, a rhythm. And the second half of the lap is all about speed. It's a bit like Misano later in the season, which is a bit longer. The Italian circuit, which hosts the San Marino Grand Prix. In this sector, McDonald perhaps won't be the fastest. This first sector. It's all about the second sector for the Scot, as we've seen in the past. He's been very successful around here as well in Moto3, Moto2. He's very successful in MotoGP at the moment. He's charging towards the championship. His first season. Don't say that about many rookies in MotoGP. Unless your name is like Marquez, Ray Spencer, or Kenny Roberts. Here we go down the hill. Oh, and Valentino Rossi, I guess he's pretty good as well. Go through the left-hander. Got a bit of a bucking Bronco there on the exit. Then we go uphill. Oh, very difficult to put the power down. 120.1. Not too bad for our first qualifying effort. I see no real big mistakes either. So looking handy is McDonald. Has he got Alvaro Bautista? Looks like they're letting us through in the end. It's kind of undecided. A bit cool to almost a virtual stop there. And look at that, almost half a second up already, McDonald. In the second effort. We've got to manage that throttle through that long right-hander. And get it down the second gear for the second there. Just help get that bike into the corner. Look at that, the ElusiveKev dips into the 19s, 19.4. McDonald almost a second up. Look at that. Stephanie's stepping on it. For the second lap. And through the rise. Now down the waterfall. Onto the back stretch. 1.2 up. Oh, the Scot is full of confidence, isn't he? Short shift up to third. Jack Miller, 19.2. So maybe got to dip into the 18s to get through. It's much smooth on the power on the X. He dips into the 17s, doesn't it? 17.9. That's going to be a very hard marker for everyone to beat. But who will join the Scot into qualifying 2 then? And it's like Alicia Spargo on the Aprilia. Just had a Petrucci on the Ducati. Oh, heartbreak for the Italian once again, after what he experienced in Assen. Then Folger in 4th, Miller 5th, Batista 6th, Fred in 7th, Baz 8th, Rins 9th, Rabat 10th, Robert 11th, Abraham 12th, Spargo 13th, those 14th, and Bradley Smith's going to be on the special row. Let's see if McDonald can carry this pace through into qualifying 2, just like Assen. So here goes one-shot McDonald in qualifying 2. Definitely delivered last time out. If he sets a pace like that again, 17.9. No doubt he'll be right up there once again. Is he going wide, but then cutting off the corner, get a good exit down this front stretch. Reach almost 200 miles per hour before the first corner. And into the right-hander. You don't want to attack that first corner, because if you brake to that, you really are costing yourself time. Braking early and just getting the bike into the corner is much more important than gaining a 9th or 10th there. Go through the right-hander and up the hill and slightly wide into the second left. Very smooth on the power. Down the hill through the next left. Short shift up to 4th, making sure he's just getting smooth traction out of these corners, this McDonald. Pretty good. Dab the brakes before the rise so the bike doesn't go flying into space. Downhill through the waterfall, almost sideways is McDonald. Keep on a curve on the exit, that's very good. Don't want to go actually over these curves, as you can see they are very chunky. Oh, we're lighting up the rear tyre slightly. The first left, another corner. The final corner once again, lighting up the rear tyre, and an 18.6. Oh, it's not as good as qualifying 1. I feel like it's going to be like second or third row for McDonald. So let's skip the time. Oh, it is going to be, no, it's going to be fourth row, leading it. There Vignoni and Espargaro. He's been out qualified by the Finn, who's on the front row. Alongside Rossi and Marc Marquez, who grabs pole like he usually does on the Sachsenring on his Honda. With Vinales leading the second row ahead of Dovi and Pedrosa, and Crutcher leading the third row ahead of Lorenzo and Zarco. So not the qualifying Pats McDonald. Wanted still top 10, no. So let's see what he can do in the race. So we are looking at the grid and look at Magnum on the front row in third. The Finn was flying in qualifying. And there is Blue still in 10th. Very good to see Elusive riders both up there in qualifying. And no doubt in that first corner it could get a bit hairy. Not a long run to it. We have the smash on the brakes. As there is Brady Smith.
The race is about to begin, and the riders know that all the hard work they put in won't mean a thing if they can't cross the finish line in one of the positions that counts.
On the special row, but we don't actually get to see Brady Smith. Bit harsh. As here we go, revving up the engine in. As the lights appear. And go out for this 8-lap race. Not with the best start though. Head towards the first corner. Taking a bit slow. Got a Spargo on his outside. And oh, it really tightens up. Goes down the inside of Vignoni. Looking to the outside now, Ducati of Lorenzo, I think that is. And that's Zarco in front. Oh, he gets into the back of his fellow satellite Yamaha runner. As the Finn leads ahead of Pedrosa. And here's McDonald pushing Lorenzo through a corner. I'm sure he's going to get some shaped fists at him after the race. There's some words in Spanish he probably doesn't understand. As you go through the left hand, he's up to 7th behind Rossi and Vinales. But the Yamaha we're talking about is the Flying Finn. And this opening lap leads, and he's building a lead ahead of the Hondas of Pedrosa and Marquez, who go onto the back straight. Here comes McDonald battling the veteran, the doctor. Keeping it in third as well. This is a long race. 8 laps as Marquez gets ahead of Pedrosa. And look at this. Oh, he's right. As Dobby gets past Pedrosa as well for third. Spaniard dropping back at the end of this first lap as the Finn no doubt did the fast lap. Opening up 19.4. As all Alex Rins on the Suzuki is down. We've seen that a few times this season. Now Dobby's dropping back. Very nonchalant for those first couple of corners. As the Ducati rider drops out of the top 5. And here comes McDonald looking around his outside. No room at the end there though. It's Vinales up to third ahead of Pedrosa. Now here comes the Yamaha charger of McDonald. Very clumsily past Rossi. Again, he might get some words in Italian he won't know after the race. Decides to go around the outside of Pedrosa. Oh, very aggressive from Danny. He wants to hold on to his 4. Well, he's dropping back another position. He's the veteran. And now here comes McDonald to try and support his teammate at the front. Made this an elusive 1-2, just like Catalunya. Hope we have a better ending though. As he goes handlebar to handlebar with Vinales. Oh, gets all over the curve though in the penultimate corner. Don't want to be doing that. You didn't see the Finn's kind of been caught back up by Vinales and Marquez. As he got Rossi past Dovi in that final corner. Onto the third lap, the Finn does the fastest lap again, 19.3. Well, the gap definitely gets to be closing. Oh, Rossi pushes us wide. That's a very Rossi move, isn't it? Try and do something on him. He immediately responds back and asserts his dominance. Not happy with McDonald after that previous lap. You can see the top 4 kind of evenly spaced out though. The first part of this third lap. Tyre doesn't seem to be an issue at all. Good to see. So go down the hill into the second part of that. Here comes McDonald now. As Danillo's down from 11th on the Premac. What a difference a race makes for the Italian. As here goes McDonald down the waterfall. Is he going to succeed in getting past Vinales? This time, the back in gets back out. He goes down the back straight, almost into the dirt. Looking down the inside of the factory Yamaha. Not quite working though. But he's got a good exit heading into the final corner. They're still side by side. Vinales cuts him off. Just like he did to Rossi and Assen. In the last race, McDonald's the fastest out though, 19.1. He is pushing in the big part of this race. Got a bit of a gap to Rossi behind of 7/10 as well. He can just focus on battling for a podium. The factory Yamaha, the championship leader as well, Vinales. So Marquez is taking points of him. McDonald wants to take points of him as well. The Finn perhaps a bit too far back in the championship, but he can take points as well as McDonald finally forces his way past Vinales. Runs wide though. The Spaniard gets him back. McDonald gets round his outside. Was there maybe a touch of wheels there? As the Scot gets into the podium position, the second behind Marquez. And he's got the Finn around a second ahead of the Spaniard as well. But the Finn has really controlled this race well. Since taking the lead from Pedrosa. Seems to be managing the gap to Marquez. So towards the final corner into the second half of the race. That's much better, smooth on the power on the exit. 19.1 again from McDonald. Very consistent. And there he is around the second gap behind as well to Vinales. Maybe just, getting back into the rhythm after that clash with McDonald. The Scot is pushing hard as you saw on the power there. So as you can see in the bottom right, virtually no tyre wear around here. I thought it'd be a bit more, a bit harsher. But as you saw in the second half of the race in Jerez, tyre wear can come at you fast. So we're not counting our chickens right now. Wait until the final lap. How much tyre we've got left. So he goes a bit wide, McDonald into the left. That's not good if he wants to get a run onto the back straight. But he's a bit more aggressive through the rise there. Now through the waterfall. That's much smoother. And look at that, he's closing on Marquez. 4/10 a second behind the Spaniard. And these two are both taking points out of Vinales in the championship. Which is always important. Goes up the hill, very cautious on the power. Once again a 19.1 from McDonald. So consistent this race. He's gone to the sit for that. Looks like Marquez is gained slightly on the Finn, but again it might be this first sector as McDonald's gained slightly on Marquez as well. He's gained loads. 1.3 second gap behind to Vinales. The factory Yamahas are definitely out. It's about the satellite team here. Elusive battling the Honda of Marquez, who so often wins round here. Now looking round the outside. Now looking down the inside into the left. Very aggressive again. God, lots of people are going to be talking to McDonald in languages you don't quite understand. He's going to learn lots of Italian and Spanish after this race. Needs to go through the left-hander. How McDonald actually nicked this win from his teammate. Be a bit undeserving to the flying Finn. He leads by half a second. They've got half a second gap behind to Marquez, but McDonald's going for the championship. The Finn isn't. When they had the dashes for this season, might have to do a McDonald is faster than you message as he dips into the 18s now. He's pushing, heading on to the penultimate lap. And yeah, no tyre wear at all. He can afford to push. It's been a brilliant controlled race. Elusive riders. Look at 7/10 gap on markers. It seems after they clash with McDonald, riders drop back slightly. As the other satellite Yamaha team, Tech 3, all the riders down Zarco, the Frenchman. Very disappointing from 9th as well. There's McDonald all over the back of the fin. Kicking down the inside into the left. Not the place to make that move though. Now over the rise. Almost alongside his teammate. Careful, boys. Don't want to lose a 1-2 here. First 1-2 for Elusive in MotoGP. Of course, they achieved the win in Moto2 last year. I think it was Japan, wasn't it? Actually achieved a couple, didn't they? So it's a deal on Australia's. Cow's down from 7th. As we go into the final lap, which Elusive rider is going to win it? Is it going to be the Finn or McDonald? As we go into the right, look at that tyres. Around a third one for the rear tyre, but around half one for the front. Superb tyre. Conservation in this race. Well, he's gained a couple of tenths on the Finn. The gloves are off on this final lap, but as I said, important race for Elusive, especially in the battle in the Teams Championship. They could grab second from Honda. This result. Someone looks down the inside. Short shifts up to 4. Looks again into that left-hander. Goes slightly wide though. Lorenzo's down from 8th on the Ducati, and McDonald takes the lead, does he? Not quite. Chopped off by the Finn. Now heading on to the back straight. This is his best chance. He's got a superb run. Looking round the outside into the penultimate corner. He's braking wide, so it's the Finn. McDonald can get the power down. The Finn holds on. And will he get the exit from the final corner? He will, as Volga's down as well on the other Tech 3. But it's an Elusive 1-2 for the first time in MotoGP. Great battle between McDonald and the Finn. And most importantly, they didn't take each other out. As McDonald does the fastest lap, but finishes 4 tenths a second behind the Finn, who wins his first race in MotoGP. I didn't think I'd be saying both riders will win in the first half of this MotoGP season, but they have impressive riding from both of them. With Marquez in 3rd, Vinales in 4th ahead of his teammate Rossi, then Dovi in 6th, Pedrosa 7th, Red in 8th, Quattro 9th, Ian only 10th, Spargo 11th, Volga in 12th despite that crash on the final lap. Batista 13th, Jackman 14th, otherwise Brad grabs the final point ahead of Zarco, who didn't quite recover on his Tech 3 into points main positions by 0.3 of a second. Looking further down, there's Lorenzo down in 19th, Rins in 23rd, other falls with Abraham in last. As in the championship, Vinales still leads at the halfway mark of this season, but just by 11 points now ahead of Marquez. McDonald up to 3rd ahead of Rossi, and just 19 points back after the first half of the season. It would have been your hand off if you said McDonald would be under a race win behind the championship leader at the start of this season, but it has turned out to be true. Fantastic from the Scot. He definitely is on a run, but if he loses by a handful of points just like he did with the Moto2 championship, he'd be looking back at this and being like, I should have been a bit more aggressive against my teammate. But playing the team game in the end there was McDonald, not trying to be too hard on his teammate in that final couple of corners, despite it getting very close as you saw in the penultimate corner. Then we've got Dovi in 5th, 32 points back. The top 5 separated by just over a race, and it's very close, just like in real life. And then we've got the Finn up to 6th after that victory, 12 points ahead of Pedrosa in 7th, then Crutcher in 8th, Petrucci in 9th, Lorenzo 10th, Zarco 11th, Red in 12th, in only 13th, Spargo 14th, a point ahead of Volga. Looking further down, we've had 19 riders score in the first half of the season. We've just hit to Barbara, and Tito Rabacca, Abraham Paul, Spargo, Sam Knowles and Bradley Smith for the 2 score. As in the constructors stand-ins, Yamaha, thanks to Elusive as well as the factory team, extended the lead over Honda by 66 points now. Then you got Ducati in for just 27 points behind Honda. There's still a bit of a battle there for second. And there's also one for 4th with Suzuki, just 14 points ahead of Aprilia, with KTM not scoring. And look, it is right in the team's championship. Elusive have jumped the Repsol Honda team. We've got a Yamaha 1 2 as the factory team lead the Elusive team by 68 points. And they're 4 points ahead of Honda, with Ducati in 40 points behind Honda. And then Pramac rounds out the top 5 with 107 points, 35 ahead of Tech 3. You've got LCR, Suzuki, Aprilia, Aspar, Vincia and Mark VDS, with the Red Bull KTM effort in 13th. As McDonald, perhaps not the happiest you see after that race, as the Finn exchanges notes with Marcus on how to celebrate a MotoGP win, it looks like, as the clones still congratulate them. The first 1-2, remember, for Elusive in MotoGP. Superb race, as the Honda clones were pretty happy, it looks like, with that result as well for Marcus. Normally wins round there, does the Spaniard. I was thinking real life, he's won it like 9 years in a row, that race, in whatever class he's been in. Unbelievable record. But in MotoGP, it was all about the Elusive Yamaha team. The Finn from third up to first. That's virtually the whole race. McDonald battled his way through the field, you saw, against Lorenzo, Rossi, Vinales, Marquez, 2 second from 10th. Both smashed the race objective, and both smashing the season so far, as Andrea gets the first top 20 result in Moto2 from 34th up to 19th. Good progress from the Italian. And for Argentina as well, his best qualifying, I believe, of the season in 23rd, finished in 25th. So there's actually signs of progress with the Moto2 team. It's just taking a bit longer than I would like. And then in Moto3, you can see the Swedes started on the front row, finished in 2nd, up to 7th in the championship, and smashed the race objective. Well, for Omar, started 30th, finished 30th, 25th was his race objective, not quite achieving it, and he's 31st in the championship. And he improves his braking and cornering. The Swede improves everything apart from his throttle management. Alejandro improves his throttle management and body position. And Andrea improves his body position as well. Well, for McDonald, he's up to 99 on braking. And for the Finn, he's almost got full MotoGP affinity. I believe that will happen after the next race. But improves everything apart from his throttle management. And that's a decent all credits, isn't it? And reputation. So we need to rest after that race, no doubt, at Team Elusive HQ. As to any episode, we've got an activity day. You can do some social network and earn extra reputation bonus for the next race to achieve the sponsors' objectives by doing a Q&A with the fans by 100%. Not really looking at reputation. No, you can do a photo shoot for 15,000 credits. Go to the gym, do some muscle building, improve our riders' throttle control ability by 100 XP. I'll do a prize competition. Fixed credit race reward from your sponsors for the next race improved by 100%. Last thing we're doing in the gym, do some muscle building for our riders, improve their throttle control. And before we go to Bruno, I'm not sure if the parts have been fully developed. They have for the Calyx. So let's do some more bike development for the Calyx as well. Improving the brake. Should we actually improve the frame and suspension this time? Get that handing up to 86. Let's improve the frame. And that would take 6 weeks. Got just 2 weeks remaining on the frame and suspension for a MotoGP bike as well. So that's almost maxed out now. A MotoGP bike. If we look at it in the list, as you can see, it will be maxed out after those next updates. So we had a very good bike then for the second half of the season, which begins in the Czech Republic around the Automotodrome Bruno. A long circuit, and it's going to be around just under 2 minute long lap time, and it's going to be a long race as well for McDonald and the Flying Finn. But can they even get close to repeating what they achieved in this episode next time out? Could a Moto2 team actually score a point with Andrea? Could Alejandro get a top 20 finish? And in Moto3, could the Swede get his first win, and Omar achieve his race objective for the first time this season? Find out next time. So, unfortunately, I'll see you then.